hello. This is how people beat addiction. This, like, if you don't have a step-by-step process, like, you really have to think about, it's more than just, okay, I'm gonna put down the vape. Okay, I'm gonna stop smoking weed. Okay, I'm gonna stop drinking. Like, if you just sheer willpower that shit, eventually it's just gonna come and bite you in the ass, and you're gonna be exposed to an area, someone of some sort that is going to enable or push you to actually cave. This is my step-by-step process that I actually went through myself personally, to quit vaping after 9 years of vaping every single fucking day, to quit drinking after multiple years of drinking all the fucking time, and quit smoking weed after probably like 5 or 6 years of almost every single day. I call this the control shift method, because you're shifting control. The reason I call this is like you're shifting control from like those things controlling you to you now controlling your urges over those things. So step one of this process is, obviously, you have to be aware that this is even a problem. You have to be aware that this thing actually has control over you. You have to get real with yourself about not being happy with your current situation and why. Like, without truly admitting this to yourself, without really coming to the realization that this is not where you want to be, you're sick of this thing having control over your life and you in this way, I mean, then you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be like listening to how to quit advice. You wouldn't have clicked on this video if you hadn't somewhat in some standpoint. But like, you really, really have to get like really accept and get pissed almost at yourself for allowing it to control you for as long as it did. So ask yourself, like, what things am I consistently doing that I know aren't benefiting me long term? And like, obviously, if you're vaping, you know it's not benefiting you. Obviously, if you're drinking, you know it's not benefiting you. Obviously, if you're smoking weed, you're probably like, this probably isn't benefiting me. In the moment, I feel like it does, but really long term, when I think about it, is it? Probably not. Why do I continue to do them? These are questions you got to ask yourself and like actually answer. If you really want to get control over this, it's getting control over your mind. Like, you have to be mindful. If you're not mindful and you think that you're just gonna like be one of those people that just cold turkey puts it down, like without any crazy cannon event or fuel to your fire to get you to do that, I mean, I wish you the best of luck, but it's not that effective. This is why like not many people are able to actually quit. Another thing you can ask yourself is like, why do I want to make this change right now specifically? Like, this kind of also goes to the whole, you have to have a reason. Like, you have to sit with yourself and really like understand why now. And then, do I really want this to still be my situation a year from now? Like, really think about the two versions of yourself. Like, you've got one version that gets control of this, and then you've got another version that just doesn't. And how good would you feel if a year from now you had actually gotten control over this? How good would you actually feel if you really put your mind to it and did it? And then what happens if I let this continue? Like, getting actually real and not just like being like, oh, well, I guess I'm addicted still. Like, what actually happens? Like, am I going to get lung cancer? Am I going to continue to ignore like the feelings in my body that like don't feel good? Am I gonna whatever it is, it's going to be different per person, but like, you just got to get you have to get real with yourself. So like, it may seem obvious to be aware of your current situation, but like, have you really sat and thought deeply about like, how may I be using this as a crutch? Like, in what area of my life do I feel like I need this and this is like helping me? Does it actually make me feel better anymore, or am I just caught on a loop that I can't break? When I was quitting vaping, or like when I was vaping, I couldn't even tell you, I wasn't getting buzzed anymore. I wasn't actually receiving anything from it. Like, the thing initially was like, you get that head rush, you get that tingle sensation, like the buzz. I literally was not getting buzzed anymore, and anyone who's been vaping for some time knows and can admit, like, yeah, bro, I don't get buzzed anymore. So, are there signs of depleted mental and physical health that I'm ignoring? What I kind of said, like, when I was vaping, I kind of noticed little things in my lungs. Like, I would feel pains and like shit like that, just tightness in my lungs. that I just chose to ignore and chose to just kept like ripping the vape. And there was one time that I was like, fuck, is this it? Like, I felt there was some weird shit going on in my lung. It was like a sharp pain. And it ended up being fine the next morning, but do you really want to ignore that and then wake up one day not being able to breathe out of your right lung? Like, I don't know. I'm referring to vaping right now because this is a very prominent one in like today's world. This all can apply if you're someone who's trying to stop drinking, or if you're someone who's trying to stop smoking weed as well. Just want to preface that. Number 4, another thing like you should be actually thinking deeply about is, am I actually conscious of every single time I indulge in this? Like, how many times do I recognize that just like hitting the vape, or the motor function of just like going into the fridge and like grabbing a beer, or like pouring myself a shot? Like, how many times am I like truly sitting and recognizing like I could resist right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to just being something that's just like automatic. Like, how many times do you sit there and recognize like, I am hitting my vape, I am taking a drink, I am this, and it seems stupid, but you're taking control over your mind. It's not you're taking control, you're shifting the control from like, this substance has control over my urges and what I do, to like, I am now actively and hyper aware of this substance and its control over me and when it makes me feel urges. And so developing that and becoming hyper aware is the first step to actually any of these continued steps down the line, as we'll get into here in just a second. Last one I have on here that you should think deeply about is like, can I genuinely admit that this thing has full control over me right now? You have to admit to yourself that you have allowed this thing to come into your life and take full fucking autonomy over what you're gonna do. Like, your pod runs out at 3 in the morning, and you're up and driving to 7-Eleven to buy more pods. You get off work, and you could be productive, and you have some things that you need to do, but you'd rather have a drink. Really fucking admit to yourself that, like, this thing you have allowed it to control you and control, like, your actions. Because without really getting real with yourself like this, then none of these next steps, like, really matter. If you're unwilling and unprepared to, like, actually admit and like drop your fucking ego for a second that like, all right, I want to make this change, so like here's all the this thing does control me. Number 2, biome control. Once you've fully dropped your ego and admitted to yourself that you've allowed said thing to control your actions, you can actually start to pave a path and systemize your unique process of gaining control. This looks different for everyone, but there's general steps to take that are just human psychology and how you're going to win back control over your own brain and shift the whole mind over matter action in your head of like I said, shifting away from it having control to you having control over it. This is that moment where you separate yourself from said thing and almost view it in your mind as a separate character or being playing against you. So, you can go one of 2 ways. You can do nothing and let it continue to control you like you have up until this point, or you can start setting boundaries with yourself and recognizing it as like a separate thing that is literally pulling you, and like the urges are controlling you, versus this other version of you that is like asking for you to like put the work in and put the time in to like regain control over your own fucking mind. Okay, what these boundaries can look like. No vape at work. Okay, I am driving to work, but I refuse to bring it into the restaurant. Like, that's what I did off the start, is like, okay, I'm just not going to bring it into work so that I can't, like, in between tables, go to the bathroom and rip the vape. And then I moved that to, all right, I leave it at home. I'm not even going to, anytime I'm even heading to work or like I'm doing that, I'm not bringing the vape. Another thing, like I said, leave the vape at home while running errands or going to work or whatever. Like, set boundaries in your day that you don't do said thing. Like, actually sit here and be like, okay, fine. Like, I'm not going to do this when blank, or I'm not going to do this when blank. For drinking, not drinking at the first bar that you go out to, or the second bar that you go out to, or not drinking on weekdays, or not drinking on any day except for Saturday. Whatever it is, like, you need to set the boundary. Weed. No weed when I'm, like, away from home, running errands, going to the gas station. No weed at school. Little things like that. These are going to look different for everyone. These are just examples. The goal here is to create one period of time or one moment throughout the day where where you consciously force yourself to go without it. Simple as that. Like, this is the first step. You have to force yourself. Another thing this looks like is like, here, let's just get into impulse gaps. Before I get into impulse gaps, a massive part of this and like what this impulse gap is if you're someone who vapes, what's the first fucking thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Rip the vape. Start no vape at least 15 minutes after waking up. Okay, let me just get into the impulse gap so I can explain to you exactly what this is and like the process of it. This honestly is some secret sauce. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like this is key. Like, this will win your dopamine back if you can actually take this seriously and instill this into every single time that you crave or have an urge. This was extremely effective for me and has proven to be so for many of my clients as well. This is where you can really start to take back control over your own urges and express your ability to resist with small, realistic steps. The name of the game here is extreme awareness and recognition combined with conscious action and delayed gratification. What this looks like in action. No vape 15 minutes after waking up. The urge, another thing this looks like, urge hits, look at the time on the clock, wait 5 minutes. If you're in the car, set your vape on the passenger seat or somewhere where it's not just like under your thigh or right here on like the cup holder or something. So you actually have to reach and recognize. It gives you that little point in time where you're like, okay, I'm about to hit the vape. Cool. Look at the clock. Delay it. Same thing in the morning, like 15 minutes after waking up, and every single day, like you should be hyper aware and hyper conscious of when your cravings are hitting, because that's what you're doing. And that's how you take control. Right now, they have control over you because you're not thinking about them. You're just completing the loop of like, I feel the urge. I go and get the thing and I complete the loop by hitting it or by taking a drink or by ripping the bong or like ripping a joint, whatever it is, like taking control slowly through actually resisting the urge, even if it's like fucking 5 minutes off the start. Like, another thing, delaying 15 minutes after finished eating. No vaping when going to the bathroom. Like, little places here and there that you know that you're associating it with. What you're trying to do is deassociate. Like, right now, it has its like tentacles in every aspect of your experience, in every aspect of your life. And you're trying to remove them one by one. So start somewhere that you know that like is an actual attainable, achievable goal, so that you can just build. You're literally rewiring the neurons in your fucking brain when you're doing this. So what's happening here is you're actively consciously delaying the dopamine hit that you're used to instantly getting during or after moments in your day that you associate it with. This literally rewires your brain. Pausing before the cue to craving to hit loop literally reshapes neural pathways, strengthening self-control circuits in your prefrontal cortex. I didn't think about all this when I was quitting. When I was doing all of this, I was just like, the more aware I can be of resisting the craving, even for a little bit of time, the more frequent I can do that. And then the more amount of time that I can put in, but like the bigger gap I can put in between each time. So like starting with 5 minutes, then it's 10 minutes, then it's 15 minutes, then it's 20 minutes. You know, after I wake up, it starts with 15 minutes, then it's 30, then it's an hour, then it's 2 hours, then it's 3 hours. Like every single day trying to like work a little bit harder and a little bit better. Anyways, over time, natural rewards feel rewarding again because your brain isn't overloaded by constant artificial spikes. Instead of dopamine controlling your day, you're now controlling it. This is the name of the game. You are now taking back control over your brain as opposed to your brain and your urges completely controlling you. That is such a integral step to this process. I promise you this will actually... You'll be very fucking surprised with like just sheerly like how proud of yourself you are, like when you really express your own ability to like resist and you're like, I'm doing a good thing here. Like you're giving yourself something to pat yourself on the back for. And then slowly but surely you can just put it into more and more times throughout the day. Step 4, sweat reset, or going and doing like physical activity to get natural dopamine. using physical activity to reset your current state and introducing a new healthy habit in place of old bad ones. This step of the I need to edit this. This step of the control shift method is crucial if you want this to be a lasting change and not just another relapse after a few weeks or a month without your vice. Why this is crucial. Exercise triggers a controlled, gradual dopamine release without artificial overstimulation. When you exercise, endorphins and endocannabinoids are released, which are natural mood lifters which reduce stress and thus cravings associated with stress. Physical activity promotes new neural connections, which makes habit change easier. Sweating literally changes your physiology, which breaks mental and emotional loops. Leaning into hard tasks like working out subconsciously signals to yourself that I'm disciplined, which strengthens your long-term behavioral change. When you are trying to quit said thing, if you're just sitting here and you're like, I'm sheerly trying to quit vaping and that's all you're thinking about, you're almost doing yourself a disservice. If you're not actively pairing it with another positive, healthy habit that is like helping you shift into this new identity and new version of yourself that like does things for the benefit of you and has control over your current actions. Going and leaning into doing hard workouts or doing stuff that you wouldn't usually do, like running long distance, like going to the gym, like going for a swim, like anything that you wouldn't usually do, literally reshapes your brain. Like literally reshapes those neural connections and makes it easier for you to actually gain control over your cravings and your urges because you're now expressing control over your physical body and forcing it to do shit that is difficult. And on top of this, this is just going to make you more confident in general. Like if you're working out, if you're running, if you're anything, like it's going to make your days better. Like give yourself something to pat yourself on the back for at the end of every single fucking day. So if you can combine this, like actually going and sweating, which like is giving you natural dopamine versus artificial dopamine, and combining that with actually resisting all day, every fucking day, you're setting yourself up for success here. Next one is identity shift, which is fucking key. So if you hear anything that I'm saying in this video, listen to this. Listen the fuck up. Why? Okay. This thing is glitching. If you're simply counting the days, weeks, months, and years that you haven't given into your vice, you're subconsciously priming yourself to use that as an excuse to relapse again later. If all you're doing is like, yeah, I've been off of vaping for 1 month. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Like what you're doing, like you don't realize that like when you're just counting the days, it's like you're trying to like flex on yourself almost. You're trying to like get like these achievements. Like you need to lock into like, this is not me anymore and stop counting the days. You must solidify in your mind that you are no longer someone who vapes, drinks, or smokes. This is literally a mantra you must repeat to yourself in your own mind. Like, I am no longer someone who vapes. I am no longer someone who drinks. I am no longer someone who smokes. If you're just like, I'm trying to quit vaping. Nope. I'm trying to quit smoking. Nope. I'm trying to quit drinking, or I'm trying to settle out, or I'm trying to cut it. What the fuck does trying mean? What the fuck do you mean with that? Genuinely getting into this headspace, repeated actions from this new identity literally rewires your neural circuit. It's like when you legitimately have in your head like the new version of yourself, like a year down the line, this is who I want to be. You start to act in accordance to who that person is and what habits that person does and doesn't have. The cognitive dissonance of not acting in accordance to this new identity becomes a driving force to keep you on track. So if you're like, really have it in your head, I'm no longer someone who vapes, and once you really get that in your head, then when you give in and indulge with that, it should make you feel like shit. It should make you like the cognitive dissonance between like what you say that you're doing
and then the action that you just did, like, it should sting. Saying I'm not a smoker is far more powerful than I'm trying to quit, as I just kind of got into. Conscious reframing strengthens executive control over impulses. So, like, you're consciously reframing who you are. Like, how do I explain this in, like, fucking normal terms here? So, like, when you're consciously repeating to yourself in your head that I am no longer this person, it is so much more powerful and so much more effective to then actually pushing towards being that person. Because if you're just, like, attempting to be that person, then you can kind of justify, like, having a weak day, or, like, giving in this time or that time or the other time, which is, like, not productive to actually quitting whatever it is you're trying to quit, and, like, gaining control over it is whatever you're trying to gain control over. But when you're like, I am this person, I am not the type of person who does this, and then you, like, go and do it, then you're like, you feel like dog shit because of it. So you're just shifting your frame in your head and your internal view of your external self and solidifying that, like, you are not that person, rather than, like, you're just the same person who's trying to make an effort to quit. You see what I'm getting at here? This is fucking powerful. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, this is huge. This is a really good one. When me and my brother were quitting vaping, when we really got to the point where we were like, I am no longer someone who vapes, hugely fucking, like, huge difference. And again, this is all mental nuance. Like, you're repairing your own relationship with your brain, recognizing that you are in control of your urges and your vices. They are not in control of you. Even though it feels like it, you're taking back this control. And this is one of those steps that's very fucking helpful. This identity change shifts cues from being automatic cravings to that is no longer me. Identity-based change lasts longer than willpower-based restriction. Y'all get the point. Okay. Non-negotiables. These build upon your new identity by laying out daily habits and tasks that align with the new version of yourself. These are habits you must set forth that are absolutely non-negotiable and will be completed daily in effort towards the new version of yourself and your current experience. For example, under no circumstance will I not go to the gym today, run today, or go for a walk. Let me reread this in the fucking tone that I did. I thought I'd just put periods after all of these. For example, under no circumstance will I not go to the gym today, run today, go for a walk today, do 100 push-ups today, make my bed today, or move my body in some way, shape, or form today. Like, you need to have those things that you're like, there is no reality in which I'm not going to the gym. There's no reality in which I'm not waking up and waiting 30 minutes before I hit my vape. There's no whatever your thing is, you need to create your non-negotiables for yourself that are in accordance and aligned to where you're trying to be and what you're trying to achieve. What this does, new daily habits physically rewire your brain, making your new identity real and automatic. New habits aligned with your new identity create stronger motivation and persistence. Creating preset expectations for yourself every day negates any sort of should I or shouldn't I. It's just like, I am, I do. This solidifies that I am this person, not I'm trying to be better. Actions over words every fucking time. Daily wins release dopamine, which trains your brain to crave new aligned behaviors and natural sources. Acting like your new self makes your new identity real, not abstract. You are the version of yourself that no longer gives into whatever thing. So start, when you really lock in and act in accordance and start putting things, daily tasks, and leaning into hard shit that you don't feel like doing, giving yourself things to be proud of, which is the next thing here, you are going to actually start making change and making progress towards this new version of yourself. Proud stacking. Piggybacking off the previous core step, giving yourself something every single fucking day, without fail, to be genuinely proud of yourself for will be massively helpful for not only in quitting your vices, but also in improving your general mood throughout your day as a whole. Go for that run, that lift, that swim, etc. Each proud moment gives a natural dopamine hit tied to achievement, not escape. Daily wins build belief in yourself to handle bigger challenges that may present themselves in your days. Repeated positive reinforcement strengthens your neural pathways for confidence and discipline. Daily wins align with and reinforce your new self-image, and pride fuels motivation, which fuels more action, creating momentum, and momentum is king. When I was working service industry, when I went and ran in the morning, the same sort of interactions that I would have at work that would normally ruin my shift or piss me off now had genuinely noticeable, like, less effect on my mood, because I was like, this doesn't fucking matter. I fucking ran 10 miles. Like, maybe this lady's having a bad day. Maybe this guy's having a bad day. Like, whatever it is, like, when you're giving yourself something outside of your current monotonous workday experience, the things that you have to do to survive, to actually be proud of yourself, and you're actually working towards a version of yourself that you want to see every single fucking day without fail, all those little things in your life, all those little moments in your day that piss you off and, like, get you down aren't going to piss you off as much, aren't going to get you down as much, because you're working towards something and you're making yourself proud of yourself every single day. You're, like, actively trying to do something that you're like, the whole day could be fucked. The whole day could be shit. But, like, I did this. I went and ran. I got a really good lift in. I went to jujitsu. Jumped in some water, like, did something that I didn't feel like doing for the benefit of myself. This is fucking huge. Stacking these proud of yous every day builds your confidence in your ability to do the things necessary to change your trajectory and justify in your mind why it's worth doing so. When you start genuinely feeling good about yourself and proud of what you did today, every day, you start to not only become a more confident person, but also realize that the grass truly is greener on the other side of consistent, conscious effort. This is what all of this is step one. Really get real with yourself. Admit that you are, like, there's two versions of yourself. There's yourself, and then there's this thing that seemingly has control over you. Admitting that that's the case and that it has fucking control over you. Number two, taking active steps to actually, like, change that, to actually, like, resist, to actually start gaining control over, like, the thing that is perceived to have control over you right now, whatever, like, your vices and everything. Recognizing that there's an urge to begin with, and then actively delaying those urges. Then down the line all the way to, like, proud stacking, like, bro, if you are aware of it having control over you, and you're actively creating points in your day where you resist it, or you leave it at home, or you or points in the week where you're just setting boundaries for yourself when that thing can control you, then every single day, if it's something like vaping or smoking weed, you're every single time that you're hyper aware of the urge that's presenting itself. If you're resisting every single time and delaying that, and then you're actively doing something with your body to get natural dopamine sources as opposed to synthetic dopamine sources, and then you've got yourself in a headspace of, like, I no longer allow this thing to control me. And then you're creating non-negotiables for yourself that you do every single fucking day to work towards and in accordance with what that version of yourself does a year from now, who has quit drinking, quit smoking, quit vaping. When you think about that person and that identity and ask, like, what would they do? And then create non-negotiable things that you do every single fucking day to work towards that. And inherently, those things make you proud of yourself. At the end of the day, every day, even if the day sucked, you're going to you're going to quit said thing. But it does take this step-by-step, like, process to get there. Again, this process is going to look different for everyone. Like, everyone's their own human. But, like, these general bits, I didn't know that there's actual psychology to this. And when I was looking in Like, I created this before looking into any of the psychology or anything. And when I was quitting, I didn't know any of the psychology, or I didn't know any of like the 12 steps or how I was going to go about it. I just went about it and like what made sense to me, which is like everything I just said to you. And then I look at the psychology after the fact and it's like, holy fuck, this is like literally like the correct in order step-by-step process of how people quit shit. So again, if you need to go back and look at these, I'll let you take a screenshot at this point. Like, I mean, you can take screenshots throughout the video, but like really sit and think about all of these things. That's what you're doing. Like, you can hear what I'm saying and not go and really do anything about it. Like, you can hear the words I'm saying and like hear the sentences I'm forming together and not really think and apply it to yourself. And like, you're not going to make a change. Like, you really have to sit here and apply every single one of these steps to yourself. And I urge you to literally journal it out. Literally journal these out. Answer these questions for yourself. Think about these things and think about what you can do. But none of this happens if you are not aware that this thing has control over you right now. Like, you just have to admit it to yourself. Anyways, this has been the control shift method. This, the reason I call it this, like I said, is because you are shifting control away from. You're shifting control back into your own hands and your own head. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of your urges. Your mind will play tricks on you all day, every day, that it's any other way, and it's fucking not. So I hope this would helpful to some of y'all. I mean, this is literally my step-by-step process that like I use like when I'm to quit vaping, quit drinking, quit smoking. So I'm going to have more down the line of like really getting into like mind over matter type of stuff. But yeah, thanks for, if you ripped through this video and you're actually at this point, thanks for checking it out and you've got this shit. Genuinely, like, you just be real with yourself in every fucking standpoint that you can, and with this entire process. Like, be patient with yourself, and if you implement this, like, you will fucking quit. You will gain control. That's the name of the game. You're just trying to gain control little by little and work every day in accordance to that version of yourself that you want to be and that you want to see in the mirror. And giving yourself something to be proud of every day, because you know damn well in your heart of heart that you are working towards that version of yourself. If you do this, you're going to quit your vape, you're going to quit smoking, you're going to quit drinking. Congratulations.